Okay, so we'll be starting now. So, traveling at 48 kilometers per hour. How far would a car travel in 5 meters? Okay, when you're solving this problem, are you recalling some facts that your teacher taught you before? Concepts? Hello, Malia. I need you to to answer. So I know if you know it. I know how far I will explain. So when you see this is speed, right? That is speed. So you would label that S, and then 5 hours is what? It's time. So we know that 5 hours, and the question is how far. So that means distance. So we are asked to find the distance. So speed is, so Malia, does it make sense to you?
Yes.
Speed is 48. Do you recall this? Do you recall your teacher teaching this to you? Do you? No. Okay. So what's the formula to get the distance? Well, distance is simply, you have to remember this. Distance is when you multiply the speed times time. So I can write an x times t. Okay, this is the formula. So therefore, it will be 48 times 5. So what is 48 times 5? Usually I will multiply this by 10. So that's 480, and I will get half of that. So that's 240. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then don't forget to write the unit, because that will also be checked. So 240, we're talking about distance, that will be kilometers. Okay. Do you have a question for that one?
No.
Okay. Can you read number 2? Can you read number 2?
A bicycle wheel has a diameter of 28 centimeters. Using x
Using
minus
pi.
3, calculate using pi minus 3, calculate the circumference of the wheel.
Okay. Oh, using pi equals 3. Maybe I need to. It's too. Is it too small for you? Clear. All. I need to make this. Yeah. I can make that bigger. Is this okay now? Oh, I
Yes.
can. I can. All right. So this is the number 2 problem. Oh. Okay. We are to find the circumference of the wheel, which is. So we're to find the circumference of the wheel, which is a circle. Do you remember how to get the circumference of a circle? Do you remember that, Malia? The formula to get the circumference of a circle? Okay. So when you're reviewing, for example, this one, you can check that on the internet so that you will know that. And then you try to memorize that before the exam. Try to answer as many questions as possible related to that. So the circumference of a circle, the formula is 2 pi times the radius, or if you have the diameter, it could be pi times the diameter. R is the radius. Do you know what the radius is? Maria, do you know what the radius is? Hello? So if you have a circle, and this is the center, so the line that would pass through that that point at the center is the diameter. So that is, according to our problem, that is 28. Now, that is 28. Diameter is 28. That's D. And then radius will be half of that. So radius will be radius will be this one. Let me change the color. That's the radius, the yellow one. So radius would be half of that, 14. So in solving this problem, we can simply use the pi d. So let's use this, pi d. What is pi? Pi here is 3. So therefore, it will be 3 times d. D is 28. 3 times 28. I can use this symbol. That means multiplication. So what is that? 3 times 28. That's 60 plus 24. So that would be 84. So the answer is 84. Does that make sense to you, Malia?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to answer number 2. So, oh, sorry. The next number is number 3. Yeah, you can ask questions. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay to ask questions. So we'll be answering number 3 now. Can you read number 3?
The price of a cell phone is $700 plus VAT of 10%. Calculate the total cost of the phone.
Okay, yeah. Madison is here. Thank you, Malia. Do you know how to get this, to solve this, Malia? So the price of a cell phone is $700 plus. See this? So that means we need to add that. A VAT of 10%. So you have to pay 700 plus VAT of 10%. Do you know how to get this? VAT of 10%? You simply have to get the 10% of 700. So it will be 10% of 700. So that's what you're going to pay. 700, I will just rewrite that, plus, so what is the 10% of 700? Well, it's easy. 10% of that is 70. So 10% of that is 70. I can explain how to get that. So the answer is 770. That's the total cost of the phone. Hello, Madison. Hello, Terrence. Okay, by the way, we are now on number 3. So you just, I'll just be answering the questions, but from time to time, I will be asking you. And also you can ask questions, okay? Hello, Terrence. Am I clear? Am my voice clear? You can just thumbs up if it is. Okay, do you have questions for number 3? Malia, it's okay? Okay, thank you. So we'll be answering number 4. Okay. Oh. Sorry, just a little technical error. Yeah, we're number 4 now. Can you read it, Madison?
Yes.
Yeah, can you read number 4?
Okay. Tony has a 20-pound bag of potatoes. Given that 5 pounds is 2.2 kilograms, express the weight of the bag in kilograms.
Okay. So Tony has 20-pound bag of potatoes. Yeah. So 5 pound is 2.2 kilograms. So how many kilograms is that? So how do we solve this? So he has 20 pound, right?
Yes,
This
sir.
is how I will solve this in my head. Okay, 20 pound. Now I know that 5 pounds is 2.2 kilograms. Yeah, 5 pounds is 2.2 kilograms. 2.2, I'll write that kg. This is 5 pounds. Pounds is lb. All right, that's how we write that. So there has to be s. Now 20 pounds has how many 5 pounds? I can divide that into 4 groups of 5 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? So I'll just write 5. Okay, 5 pounds. Now, I'll write the unit so it will not be confusing. It says in the problem, every 5 pounds is 2.2 kilograms. So each 5 pounds is the same thing as 2.2 kilograms. All right, so this is 2.2. This is also 2.2. So you see how many 2.2 kilograms do we have? We have 4. So that would be 8.8, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the answer. Does that make
Okay.
sense, Malia?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, number 5. Malia, can you read number 5?
There are 630 students in a school. The ratio of boys to girls is 2.5. Calculate the
Yeah.
number of girls in the school.
Okay. The ratio of girls to boys is 2:5. So that's the ratio. 2:5. And there are 630 students. Now, let's solve this 2 ways. Now, there are 630. So, algebraically, let's say you don't know how to solve this. Okay, let's say you understand the problem, but you don't know how to solve. So that means for every 2 boys, there will be how many girls? 5 girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are 630. So 2 boys, 5 girls, that would be 7. That's a total. But there are 630. So if there are 20, I'll multiply that by 10 to make it easier. If there are 20 boys, there will be 50 girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that would be 70 people. Now it says there are 630 students. So I think we have to multiply this by what? 7.
Would you divide
Yeah,
630 by 5?
yeah, 630 by 7. We have to divide 630 by 7. So 9. Yeah. So if I multiply this by 9, what is that? That's 180, right? Hello?
Yeah.
I'm multiplying this by 9, so we'll get 630. 180 boys. So we multiply this by 9, there will be 450, right? We multiply that by 9. So now, what's the total number of students? 630, right? Does that make sense? So the number of girls will be 450. That's one way to solve that. Another way is this. So you get this, 2:5. That's the ratio of boys to girls. And total is 360. So one way is to do this. Algebraically, this is how you solve that. 2 times x, we don't know what x is. That's the That's the number of boys. Then 5x will be the number of girls. Is equal to 630. So 2x plus 7x plus 5x is 7x divided by 630. Do you know how to solve algebraic equation? So you divide both sides by 7. So what is x then? So x then would be, x then would be 630 divided by 7. So what is 630 divided by 7? I will just do 63 divided by 7. That's 9. Then I would put the 0. So that's 90. So therefore, the number of girls will be 5x. So that is 5x, which is 5 times 90, will be 450. Does that make sense? Madison? Malia?
Yes.
Or do you have, okay. Madison, do you have question?
Where do you get the 450 from?
Oh, yeah. We solved the x, right? So, but the girls is 5x. So it would be 5 multiplied by 90.
Oh.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's go to answer number 6. Can anyone read this? Malia, can you read number 6?
Mr. Nixon and his son went fishing. Mr. Nixon caught a snapper that weighed 2.5 pounds. His son caught a snapper that weighed one quart pounds. Calculate the total weight of the fish caught.
Okay, so it's just addition. So 2, you can arrange that this way. 2 and 1/2. Then 1 and 1/4. So you add the whole numbers. That's 3. And do you know what's the answer for 1/4, 1/2, and 1/4? 1/2 is the same thing as, how many quarters do we have in 1/2? Do you know how many quarters do we have in 1/2?
No.
Hello? So 1/2 is 2 quarters, right? It's when you combine 2 quarters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2 quarters. Or I can rewrite that as 2 quarters. So I can rewrite this as, I can erase this and then just write 2 quarters, because that would be easy for us to add. So I have 2 quarters and I have 1 quarter. So we will be having 3 quarters. All right. So that's the answer. 3 kilograms. Oh, sorry, 3 3/4 pounds. Then express the answer in decimal form. So what is the answer here, Malia, Madison? Letter B. What do you think is the answer, Malia? Do you know the answer?
I'm working it out. 0.6.
Yeah, for B.
Mm.
What is 3 3/4 in decimal form?
3.6.
Okay, it's 3 point something, right? So what is 3/4 in decimal form? What you can do is
0.6.
that's 0.75.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is 3.75. You can remember this. 1/4 in decimal form is 0.25. So if you have a 1/2, 1/2 is 0.50. If you have a 3/4, that is 0.75. Okay, so it helps to remember this common fractions. Is that clear, Malia, Madison?
Yes.
Okay. Malia?
Yes.
Okay. Clear. We'll answer 7. Okay. Fraction. So we have to, how do we compare this 3/5 and 40%? So the general way, you have an idea, Madison?
Make 3/5 a decimal
Yeah, that's right.
and then compare the two.
That's right. How do we make that a decimal?
Divide it.
Okay, what's the answer when we divide it? That's 3.
60.
Yeah, that is 0.6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is what, when you convert this to percent, what is this?
60.
That is 60,
60%.
right? Yeah. So this is 60%. So it's easy now, right?
Yeah.
Both are in percent. Yeah, so this is greater than. How about this one? What is this in percent?
60 equal.
Mm-hmm. Wait. When we convert 0.06 to percent, look, you adjust the point
Move the decimal
twice.
2 times to
1,
the right.
2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that will be 6%, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So this is 6%. You see that, Malia, Madison?
Yes.
Okay. Because 60 is 0.6. This is 60. Okay, so these two are different, right? So therefore, 6% is less. Okay, how about this one? Do you know how to simplify this? You multiply them by itself.
Together. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what would be the answer? 0.5 times 0.5. So 0.5. Let's say you forget, so you multiply that, right? So it's easy. It's 25. So the question is where to put the decimal point. So this is how you do that. 1, 2. So you will count 2. 1, 2. So the decimal point will be here. So it's going to be 0.25. So therefore, they are just the same. So they are equal. Hello, Wanda and Terence. We're now on number, I think 7 of paper 2, 2023. Any question?
No.
Okay, I'll assume there's no question. We'll be solving number 8 now. Okay, let me read the question. A man borrowed $10,000 from a bank for 3 years at 12% per annum. That means per year. So this is a question about interest. Simple interest. This is a simple interest. What is the interest he is charged? So the formula to get the interest is this. Interest is equal to the principal, that is the amount borrowed, times the rate. So it's R times T. That's the number of years. This is time. This is the rate. So how much did he borrow? This is 10,000. So it will be 10,000 . Hello, Wanda. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So what's the rate? It's 12% per annum. So you will multiply that by 12% in decimal is 0.12. Can anyone compute this? Then times 3 years times time, okay? Times 3. So how do we solve this mentally? Well, first is I would multiply 10,000 by 0.12. So what would be the answer? This is what I would do. In my head, I will remove the decimal point. So I will just do 12 times 10,000. So that would be 12. Then with how many zeros? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then I would remember that there has a decimal point. Okay, so I need to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So the answer is 1,200. Okay, so I will remove the zeros and then I will multiply that by 3. You see there's still a times 3 here. So that's easy now, right? We just solve this first. So it's 1200 times 3. So that's 3600. 3600 dollars. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Amount of the loan. Yeah, this is confusing because the answer here is already given. Amount of the loan is 10,000, right? Let me check on that's number 8. Oh, they added that. So the total amount of the loan would be 10,000 plus the interest, which is 3,600. So that would be $13,600. Okay. Any question? You can take a screenshot, by the way, so that you can remember that. Okay, let's go to number 9. Wanda, can you read number 9?
Find the sum of 3,649 and 7,000.
Okay. Oh, this is easy, right? Yeah, this must be easy for you. So can we just skip this? I think we can skip this so we can go to number 10. Okay. Thank you, Wanda, for reading. Can you read number 10, Wanda?
The table shows the score of a group of students on a test.
All right. Okay, you can continue. Read the table.
Number of students and score. 6. Number of students 6, 2, and 2, and the score is 60, 80, and 100.
Okay. So the question is state the model score. Do you know what a model score is?
No.
Okay, that's the score where many of the students, that's the most frequently that's the score where most of the students get. That's the score that most of the students get. So in this, in the table, most of the students get what? Most of the students got 60, right? So that's the model score. So it's going to be 60. So the answer here is 60. So what else? Let's say the scores are listed. Let's say Malia's score is 8 in a test, in an 8 out of 10 test. Madison got 9, Wanda got perfect score, just for example. And I got 8. Okay, all of us, these are our test results. So what is the model score here, Malia? Malia, what's the model score here? What's the model score?
8.
Yeah, that's right, because that's the score. That's the most where most of the students get. So yeah, 8. Okay, letter B. Calculate the number of students in the class. So that's gonna be easy. What's the number of students, Madison, in the class?
10.
Yeah, 10. You just have to add the 6. 6, 2, 2, 2. The total of the score is 720. Calculate the mean mark of the class. Okay, we're now on letter C. Calculate the mean mark. Do you know what the mean mark is? Okay, the mean is the average. Mean is the same thing as the average, where you add the scores and you divide it by the number of students. So it says the total scores is 720, so we don't have to add them because we already have that. So therefore, it's gonna be, by the way, the formula for the mean is this. Total, then you divide it by the number of, we can say number of items or number of students. All right. So here it's 720 divided by 10. We counted the number of students, right? 6 plus 2 plus 2. So therefore, the mean score is 72%. All right. Any question? Okay, let's go to, I think we should be number 11. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is number 10, so we should be answering number 11. So do you have an idea how to get this? Malia, Madison, Wanda, number 11. I'll clear everything first. Let's solve number 11.
Think of the degree, the angle.
Yeah, we're trying to find A and B. Yeah. What's A and B?
B is -7.
B is
97 because they are in the same spot.
mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm not yet sure if that's 97, but let's solve that. I think A would be easier, right? Isn't would be easier? Yeah, that's good, Madison. They are on the same spot. I like that. So 97 and A are on the same spot, right? We call them corresponding angles. They are on the same side, and yeah, they are on the same side. So they are the same. Okay? So they are the same. We call them corresponding angles. So therefore, A is 97. Okay? That's the relationship between the 97 and A. They are the same. How about 97 and B? What do you think? What's the relationship of this side with this side? With that angle to that angle?
Isn't an exterior?
Have you seen this? This is 180,
On
right?
a supplementary angle,
Yeah.
doesn't it
That's
like
great.
add up to I think 180?
That's correct. We call them linear pair. So because if you have a line like this and you cut that into two, so these two angles are linear pair. If one is 80, the other one would be 100. Yeah, Wanda, you're correct. They add up to 180. So therefore, if this is 97, B should be what?
180?
No, they should add up to 180.
83. No, 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 sorry.
83, right?
83?
Yeah, 83. By the way, as you can see, it's not drawn correctly. You see, this is 97, but this is an acute angle, right? So it is just that it is not drawn correctly. But we will use the numbers. So yeah, this must be 83. If this is 97, then this must be 83 because they are linear pairs. So let me give you one more linear pair. If this is 120, the other should be 60. Okay? Clear all drawings. Oh, this one right here. We have a triangle. What is C then? Anyone who can recall how to solve this? Malia? Do you have an idea? Aliyah and Wanda?
Is that an isosceles angle? So
Yeah.
if it is, it would be 60 on each side, and then you have the add plus 25.
Okay, yeah, that's a great start. This symbol, that's a great start, Aliyah. This symbol tells us that this is an isosceles triangle. That means two sides are equal and two angles are equal. So therefore, if this is 25, this one must also be 25. Okay? Those two angles are the same. Does that make sense? That's for an isosceles triangle. Okay? Isosceles. Yeah, I forgot to spell. I forgot the spelling of that. So isosceles. Now, if I add 25 and C, what should be the sum of the interior angles of a triangle? 25, Wanda?
50?
Oh, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is? It is always 180. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It is always 180. When you add those three angles inside the triangle, inside a triangle, it's always 180. So this is 50 plus C. So what is C then? What do you think is C? Malia, Aliyah,
180.
Wanda.
180.
Oh, C. I have a 50 here plus C is 180. So what should be C?
60.
C is
When you add that to 50, it should give us 180. So it's 100 and
130.
yeah.
180 minus 50.
Malia, are you following? Yeah, that's right. It should be. Are you, Malia?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So this is 130. All right. So you see, if I put 130 here, when we add all the angles, that would be 180. So what did we use there? We used the fact that the two angles of an isosceles triangles are equal. So this must be 25 because they are equal. And we use the fact that the sum of 25, 25, and C is 180. So this must be 130. Okay, can you solve this? I'll draw a triangle and solve this. Yeah, I'll draw an isosceles triangle. And send the answer on the chat, or you can just tell me. Okay, let's say this is an isosceles triangle. Let's say these are equal. Let's say this is 30. And you're trying to find X. So what is X then? Okay, try to compute. Malia, Aliyah, Wanda. If you can send your answer on the chat. Yeah, that would be better. Or you can just simply say that. Yes, Wanda?
I still thinking.
Yeah, I see someone send her answer on the chat. It's Aliyah. That's correct, Aliyah. Your answer is correct. So how do we solve this? So what angle is this, Wanda? This one, it must be
30, no?
Yeah, that's right. Because they are the same. And so 30 plus 30 plus
60.
X should be 180. Yeah, 30 and 30 is 60. So what should be X?
60.
So if I add 30 and the 30 and the angle that we're trying to find out, that should be 180, right? So these two are 60 when you combine them, plus X, that means plus what equals 180. So what is X? It must be 120, right? That must be 120. So you get that, Wanda?
Yeah.
Yeah, Malia. So we'll move to the next problem. This is not. Okay, can you read this, Malia? Sarah.
Sarah is paid $9 per hour when she works a 40-hour week. Calculate her basic weekly pay.
Okay. How do you think should we solve that, Malia? Number 12. How do you think should we solve that?
Multiply the $9 by the 40.
Yeah, that's right. So this must be, yeah, that's easy, right? So 9 times 4 is 36. Then you just
360.
put the 0, yeah. Okay, letter B. Wanda, can you read letter B starting from this one? Overtime paid is?
Overtime is paid at time and a half. Calculate the amount of money she is paid for 1 hour overtime.
Okay, do you understand the question?
Money she's get paid overtime.
That means
Would
when
not be
if she works for 41 hours, he would have.
369.
Oh, no,
Oh,
not
shush.
360.
How you want it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Overtime means if that means if Sarah would work for 41 hours, then that 1 hour would be overtime, and she will receive a different payment for that. So it says overtime is paid at time and a half. What that means is if she's getting paid normally $9, it should be added. We need to add half of that. Half of 9 is 4.5, right? So therefore, she would be getting $13.50 every time that she works overtime. Okay? Overtime starts when you work if you work for more than 40 hours. So this is the rate now. You get that? So it has a higher rate. $13. You will receive $13.50 for every hour that you every hour of overtime. So letter C, calculate the amount of money she's paid for 3 hours of overtime. How do we get this? Aliyah?
Hold on.
Letter C, how do we get letter C?
Is it 13.5 times 3?
That's right. So $13.5, that will be multiplied by 3 hours. So that would be what? 41.5, right?
Yes, sir. 40.5.
Yeah. 40? Yeah, it is 40.5. So that is what she would get for working 3 hours of overtime. So remember that 40 hours, $40.50. So letter D, calculate her total pay for the week when she worked her basic hours. Her basic hours is what? Do you still remember how much she get?
360.
She get, yeah, 360. So she will get 360 for working her basic hours plus overtime payment of 3 hours. We solved that already. So instead of just getting 360, she will have $40.50 more. So that would be $400.
460 cents.
Yeah, 400. Do you want to work overtime?
Nope.
Well, you'll get more payment. Yeah, but of course, you'll be more tired. Okay, let's do 13. Hello, Stretchman. What's your real name?
Strawn.
Ron?
Strawn.
Strawn. Okay. Oh, whoa. P13. All right, so let's do this. Simplify. So I'll just show this to you, how to solve this. Okay, simplify simply means you combine the like terms. So the first thing you have to do is to solve for those that has a grouping symbol like this. So 3Q, I'm just rewriting 3Q plus 12 And then we will focus on this one. Do you know how to solve this? So 2, you have to distribute 2. You have to multiply that by the 3q. So now you'll have 6q. So you'll have 6q now. And then 2 times -5. So that's a -10 now. Okay. Now after that, you will combine like terms. What do we mean when we say like terms? So 3q and 6q are like terms. So we can combine them. That is 9q. 9q. Yeah, that's 9q. What else do we have there? 12 and -10 are like terms. 12 and -10 are like terms. We can combine them. It's just simply having 12 taking away 2. Sorry, taking away 10. So it's 12 minus 2. Yeah, so this is the answer. 9q minus 2. Does that make sense? Is there a question there? Okay, let's go and solve letter B. 3m minus 5 is equal to m plus 8. There are many ways on how to solve this. Many strategies that teachers use. For this time, yeah. Any idea, Aliyah?
Grouping the ones that are similar, like 3m minus m, and then leave the variable or the single numbers to itself.
Yeah, that's right. We need to isolate them. Okay. So that's great, Aliyah. We need to isolate those with m on one side. You see, there are 2 sides here. Okay, I'll divide this into 2. So we have the left side and the right side. So what we want to happen is all the m's, all right, like the 3m and the m should be on the left side. That is what we want to happen. So this is what we're going to do first. The rule is whatever you do with one side, you have to do on the other side. So I will take away m here. Okay, I take away m, so I need to take away m here. So that means it would be 3m. Take away m is what? That's 2m, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I'll just rewrite that. 2m. And then I'll just rewrite the -5. -5. And then, so you see we have m plus 8 minus m here. So m minus m is 0. So that is, we don't have to write that anymore. So I just have to write 8. So remember, there's an equal sign here. So let me remove down the line. Okay. Now, we still have a -5 here. What should we do to take that away, to remove that -5?
Integer roots.
What?
Integer roots.
What is that? Okay. Pardon? Can you say that again?
I was trying to say integer roots.
Yeah, integer rules. Yeah. So we need to add 5. We need to add 5 on both sides. Why? Because when you do -5 plus 5, this is 0, right? So we'll only have 2m, which is equal to 8 plus 5 is 13. So we have 2m equals 13. So if you have this, you can divide both sides by 2. And then, yeah, M will be 6.5. Yeah, that would be the answer. Is that clear? We can continue on next week. There will still be a workshop next week, so we will be continuing with that. If you have questions, maybe you can message that to the student shed, and we will tackle that. We can, let's see if we can tackle that next week. Okay. Thank you for your time, Aliyah, Wanda, Madison, and Aliyah, and Strawn. Sorry, I'm having a hard time pronouncing that.
John.
Okay. So bye-bye for now. I hope to see you again next week. Okay, bye-bye.